Welcome back, our freaks and geeks, to another amazing podcast. Let's go on podcast. If you like this content, give us a like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel so you get more great content like this. And today we're going to be talking about the man, the myth, the legend, the Daredevil, and his Born Again series.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He has come back again, born again. Literally,
hmm
after seven
Literally.
years of hiatus, they brought him
Right?
back.
They brought him back. They were like, "Hey, man, what can we do to get the old fans back in there? Let's dust off that Daredevil. Let him have a piece of it." Um, we're gonna be doing the first 4 episodes. You know how we usually do it around here. We do the first handful of episodes so you guys understand what you're getting involved in and if it's even worth your time. Usually it is, honestly. These shows have been pretty good recently, honestly. It's another one of those. But Marcus, when it comes down to this show versus the original, do you think it's like a fair comparison, like on the same level of, I would say, writing and that energy?
I wouldn't compare it only because the Netflix series had 3 seasons, so it was like more. It's a lot of content. I would say I would judge it off of does it flow? Does it feel like it's the same series? And in a way, it they still like capsule those elements that made the Netflix series so good, but you definitely can tell it got like Disney's touch on it.
Yeah.
You definitely can tell, even to like the choices of lighting, certain elements they put in there, a little bit of lightheartedness, even how the how the sets look, like when they shooting stuff, New York in the daytime and stuff like that. In the Netflix series, it was a lot like at night, very dark, lit settings, big vibrant camera angles and stuff. So it's definitely you can tell the difference. But as far as like the writing and the characters and like where they at, it's pretty much seems like it has been like 7 years. So it doesn't feel like, oh my goodness, where did this come from? This is like a whole bunch of new characters. Nobody. It seems okay. We just catching up with old friends. It definitely kept a little bit of the essence of that Netflix series. But as far as a comparison, it's hard to do because I'm gonna be very biased and just say that Netflix run was like peak
Yeah.
writing and like execution. So it's hard to compare right now because this is just one season. I know it's probably gonna be a couple of more to come after this, but oh man, that Netflix, so much good came out of that show. I didn't think for a long time I would ever see the Punisher again. Got the Punisher back, Elektra, the Hand, who else? My boy Stick. Like, it was so much. Foggy, like the relationship with him and Foggy. You definitely felt like that MCU touch as
Yeah.
far as how the tone of their shows are because they've had shows where it gets a little dark and serious, like with Echo, Winter Soldier, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Hawkeye, like those 3 shows are like that same feel. And
hmm
it's just like they took those 3 shows and heightened the violence and like adult themes. So
Yeah.
that's basically what they did. But the writing has been pretty good. And I know a lot of people been complaining about there's not a lot of action and doing all this talking. And I'm like, y'all gotta remember, Matt is a freaking lawyer. So if he chooses not to be a vigilante, he's gonna be a lawyer. And lawyers
Yeah.
are not the most exciting people because a lot of their job deals with talking, investigating. That's a big chunk of it. So you're not gonna see him fighting because it's very they stated it in the show that he was giving that up. And vigilantes are also illegal now. So there's a lot of elements that's tying into why it's the way it is. But what helps it to your point of the question that you asked about writing is the way the characters are set up with the dialogue and the writing and the history between certain characters is done really good, so it doesn't take you out of the moment, and it's not like, oh, it's a whole bunch of dialogue, but it goes nowhere. No, everything goes somewhere, and I just really think Matt's dialogue with all the characters in the show, even the new ones that they introduced, is done like really well. and it shows like the person that he is and the human side of him. And that's what always made Daredevil such a dope superhero to me, because he is a good person under all of that. It's not like he's this rage monster out there just going around clapping people like Frank. But yeah, to answer your question, I know that was like a long-winded answer, but
Oh, great
it's
answer, dude.
yeah, it's very hard to try to compare it, as far as a show as a whole. But I would just probably say more of the differences and what the feel and the tone of the show is.
Yeah, the way I see it is like this. I think a reason why Daredevil Born Again can do any of the stuff that it's doing is just because the Netflix show did a really good job of predating and introducing all the stuff that we would need for a show like this to even be successful. If you look at other shows that have to introduce their characters from the ground up, they don't have the crutch, or not even the crutch, but the assistance from a pre-existing show to already have the layers done. We don't have to have his early roots of him getting his power, or not getting his power, but using his powers for the first time. We already have a whole entire series about that. So we can get into a new story of established characters. Everybody who's here, for the most part, we know about. Like Bullseye, we know him. Frank, we know him. Kingpin, we know him. Foggy, all these characters. There's new characters they added, but all the existing characters, they don't have to do much to them. A lot of and I will say episode 4 is probably my favorite of them so far, even though I do love the White Panther, because man, when he was talking about what it meant to him as a culture and everything like that, I was just really hooked on that. And it was really good writing. But I
Yeah,
love his back and forth with Frank, and I love the thing that I love is like we get to see the same conversation happen 7 years apart. We get
that
to
happened
see
on the roof. The one that
happened on the
happened on the roof.
rooftop,
But
and they both were looking they were younger. Frank wasn't so scraggly, he's so paranoid, and you could
yeah,
tell their lives are different. Daredevil has people in his life. He has his friends and stuff like that, and family he has. But Frank has
yeah,
no one.
yeah.
Frank has himself. Frank does not have the access to
He's
people that are going.
isolated, man.
Exactly, he's isolated, and anybody who comes to the door usually is someone that's trying to take him out or something like
Yeah,
that. So he has to. That's why he threw accent at Matt right off the bat, because he was like, "You come in here to do something," but Matt's, "Hey, man, it's me, man. I'm not here for that."
yeah.
And I love the dialogue because he's it's more or less a conversation with Matt with himself, and Punisher's just giving him the back and forth, the devil's
Mm-hmm.
advocate part of it. But it's
Mm-hmm.
Matt coming to the term that he has to be a vigilante again because it ain't working. He's coming
Mm-hmm.
across the same problem that led him to be Daredevil in the first place. You
Yep, exactly. And it's so crazy because they really show how the two characters marry each other, from the mental state of mind, physical appearance, even like the living state. Because Matt, he's still living, like he's alone. He's by himself. He lives by himself. But like you said, he just has that outside world connections of friends and stuff and coworkers. But he's
Mm-hmm.
isolated. He lives in that big apartment by himself. Frank is in a whole building, living under the building in the basement by himself. Matt has his stash, his mask and suits. Frank has his artillery and all that around him. And it just shows you the paranoia of both characters. Like they still have that paranoia of what's going on around them. And then to the
Mm-hmm.
fact that when we first seen them, the two talking to each other, having that conversation on the roof, they were brand new into it, clean cut looking. This was like fresh out the gate. They were just getting the swing of things with their vigilantism. And now it's like they've been through a lot of shit. They torn down. The system is being bucked right now. They don't know where they lie in this new like world of things. So these are two men that's been like beaten down. They've been through a lot, and then they have the traumas that's already occurring with inside their minds. And now Matt has this new trauma with Foggy, because at first it was his father, but now he's dealing with Foggy. And like you
Mm-hmm.
said, Frank is like pushing him, like, okay, Red, you came here to get my permission, so I'm finna give it to you. This is my permission. I'm finna sign your permission slip. And it was just such a great moment because, like, even to the point where you saw Matt like finally break down, and it's the fact that Frank is the one to take him there because he's literally been through the same thing. He's telling him like, "Hey, I hear the voices. That's what tells me to do what I do." And then even at the end, like when he leaves out, and Frank has that moment, he looking to the side. It's almost like it's something that voice is coming back a little bit to be like, it's time for you to get back out there because shit finna get crazy out here.
Yeah, I love that dialogue so much. I love. I don't like that Ozzy Fogley is air quote dead. I like. There's too many speculation for me to not to rule him out.
It's comic books. It's based
Yeah.
on comic books, and you always have to have that mindset
Mhm.
of nobody's really
Nobody's really gone, stuff like that. So it's a bummer that had to happen, and he had to lose a friend like that. But I think at that point in time, he was getting to a point to where he was okay with leaving that life behind. And it took Bullseye, of all people, to bring him back into that. And on the rooftop, another rooftop, he dropped Bullseye off of it because he was like, I'm done with this. And that's why he did take off the map, because he survived, but he was trying to kill him. He crossed that line. Yeah, he crossed that line. It makes sense why he doesn't want to be in there, and he wants to let the legal system do it, even though the legal system is crooked and stuff like that.
It's trash.
Yeah,
100%. Trash, because they tried to send my boy to jail for stealing some caramel. Whatever it's called.
Whatever it is.
Dibble dabble, whatever it's called. But that was another good scene.
Because he realized that he was trying to write him off so early, and he realized that it's the system. It's like the system is bad because he doesn't have money to do anything. So he has to resort to that to survive. But the legal system doesn't make an allowance for those kind of things to happen.
It's like the whole show, the whole episode was trying to wake him up.
Yeah.
Wake up, Matt. You know who we need back. Come on, man. It's to the point now where it's like you can't even trust the cops anymore. So we need you, man.
Exactly. We need you back here because the cops are abusing their power. And the thing is, there's a couple of things that about the cops is like the cops were willing to ice that guy in the apartments, and Matt happened to be like, okay, I'm gonna go see what's up over there. And they didn't even care that he was a blind person. They were gonna they run up on him. They were gonna tag team.
Exactly. Because they didn't know he could. They didn't know he could fight. They was gonna go ahead and do what they do.
And that scene where he was sitting there, he was like letting him push him. I was like sitting in the screen. I was like, stop pushing him, because he's looking for a reason. He's looking for a reason to go back and to be what he used to be. And you're giving him that reason. That's why Foggy was like, I don't want to give you that reason. Like he kept telling you, he's always been saying, like, I didn't want to give you that reason to go back out there. And so the cop tested him, and he beat the brakes off him. And then battle cried after he was done.
Yeah.
Like that was the icing on the cake.
I got a question though. How do you feel about the direction that they're taking the Kingpin's role? Because we do know in the comics, like he takes on that kind of role of trying to be a mayor or whatever in New York. But how do you feel about the direction it's gone in the way his character is right now in this storyline they have?
I mean, we know that Kingpin is going to do what Kingpin's going to do. He's going to get things done any way he can. So I think he's going to be corrupt because that's just what he does. He can't keep his hands clean. So I'm waiting for that moment where we see confirmation 100% that he's doing it. Because we speculate that he's sending out these people, enforcers out there to kill these superheroes. He sent the Punisher lookalike out there to kill White Tiger. And that's what led Daredevil to go talk to Frank, because he's like, hey, your boy.
I know it's not
wild out there.
But your boys,
out there.
They're being real radical right now.
They're being real radical under your honor. So I think we're going to see that snapping moment because Vanessa is pushing him. Vanessa's pushing him.
Yeah, she
definitely. And he's trying to keep his hands clean, and she doesn't understand that he's trying to do things right, and at the very least try to do what the people want, whatever way you can get it done. But he's trying. So I think there's going to be one big slip up that's going to let Daredevil have that moment to do what he's got to do. Because we know that Kingpin's is going to be at the end of the series taken down or put in jail or whatever is the case. Because they're not going to have him be mayor for more than this season. I think this is going to be wrapped up at the end of the season.
So you think he's not going to be the mayor at the end of the show?
I don't think so.
Interesting.
How do you feel? How do you feel about it?
I don't know why. I think somehow he's going to stay in there.
You think so?
And yeah, because I think the reason why I say this is because I think in the next Spider-Man movie, they want to have him as like that background to everything going on in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's the new face of that good or evil. Can you trust them? Crooked politicians. Because you always need a good crooked politician in a superhero movie. And I think he fits
That's true.
So, and it definitely will give like Peter more outlets to his Rose Gallery and give him things to do now that he's basically starting over.
Yeah.
As Peter Parker, but as Spider-Man, people, and that's the thing, people got to remember now. He just asked for people to forget Peter Parker, but they still know who Spider-Man is. So everything Spider-Man's done, they remember it, except for him being Peter Parker. So that's a cool thing. So I'm thinking you might get like some name drops like Tombstone.
Oh, for sure.
I think
Begin Osborn's.
Osborn's. I think Shaka come back because they were talking about King brought it. I think that's how he say his name. Boogie. I forget how to say his name. But the dude who played him in the first Spider-Man film, they say he might come back. We do know it's gonna be multiversal, whatever they said. So we're probably gonna see Toby and Andrew at some point. But my thing is, getting off subject real quick, if we do see them, I hope we get to see them in their worlds and not just them
in his world.
And Tom's, but I definitely think Wilson will stay around, even to the point where we're gonna get that. What I'm waiting for is that the fist tower, like in the games and the comics. That's what I'm waiting for, and I think that's what they're trying to set up, like with the pier that he keeps going, like going back to.
They're probably gonna, the reason why I say that is just because I just want Daredevil and Kingpin fight again. I'm jealous.
We always down for a good boxing match between them two because this is always good.
And also I honestly just want. I hope Punisher gets another shot at the series. Honestly, just because he's being dropped in this universe.
Yeah, I know it's supposed to be a special, so hopefully the special does good enough to
where they want to greenlight that, because they are bringing back I've heard they're bringing back the Defenders in some way.
Yeah, and then
so we're getting a lot of
Luke Cage. He said he wants to come back.
Hey, I'm down.
Yeah, it's looking very like bright a little bit for this universe is back from the Netflix series, but as far as like with Daredevil, it's going at a steady pace right now, which is good because a lot of people got to understand that have all these complaints about stuff. When it comes to superheroes like Daredevil, Punisher, Luke Cage, even in the DC universe, characters like the Question, Batman. The only reason Batman's stories are like so cool and they always good is because he's part of the Justice League. But when we get down to the nitty gritty, like it's gonna be a lot of detective work, investigating, and that's just a part of the character. So I'm like, this is what you're gonna get with Daredevil. Even when he puts back on the suit, it's still gonna be a lot of the same vibes and feelings. I'm just like, you gotta just be patient. It's one of those. He's one of those characters where the build up is worth it at the end. It's definitely worth it.
I agree, but also like in the Netflix show, it was set up like that already. Set up where we had a not even balance, but at the very least, we got a lot of stood up moments and a lot of fights, but we also got a lot of the lawyer case stuff. And we got this really, and that's the reason why I really knew Charlie Cox was a really good Daredevil, just because he was able to flip between the two of them very well. He was able to be a very convincing Daredevil, but also his Matt Murdock was on point.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, go ahead.
I was just like, I like how too in this show, in this season, and in past season, but I like how they shoot it. when he hears certain sounds, or like when they do it's just black and you hear all the noises to give us that insight of what Matt hears and what's going on at that time. And
Yeah.
like when he does hear certain sounds and stuff, I like how they heighten it, and then they show like how they shoot it with that like blur effect. Like I've always loved how they done that, and the fact that they kept that going. That's why I say it just feels like a continuation more than trying to do a comparison, because they
Yeah.
kept some of the
The
same
good
vibe.
bits.
Yeah, the bits and stuff.
So I will say one thing. The one thing I will say is if you're a criminal and Matt's after you, you're not getting away from him because he's able to hear your footsteps in a crowd of people and follow
And your
you.
heartbeat. And your
And your
heartbeat.
heartbeat. And because that man was walking to his what's name, Matt was behind him a good bit, and he followed him all the way back to his apartment and was listening to the conversation.
And now with his time, he got the scorpion thing going on. So now he can hit you with that get over here. So y'all screwed, man.
And the fact that my boy was taking them darts to the back in that first scene in the bar,
Dude, I was like,
dang, all right, Matt.
I was like, the suit got like the armor and stuff where it ain't gonna hurt as bad, but still, my dude.
He was just taking them. I'm like, geez.
That's
So
that adrenaline, man.
Yeah, 100%. Also, I think he was bloodlusted at that point in time. He was like, you like Foggy's on the ground. I can hear his heartbeat while I'm kicking your butt. So I think Daredevil Born Again is a great show. I think it's going to live up to the Netflix, or not even live up to, but continue the legacy that the Netflix shows started. And I think it's a definite watch. Like, I think you should be watching it. Yeah, if you are a Daredevil fan or a Netflix Marvel fan, you're gonna love this series. It's faithful. It's so faithful.
And we got a new character too. I forgot to mention that's fairly new, like in the comics too. I had never heard of him before, but Muse. I think Muse.
Oh, Muse.
I like the mystery that they got behind him, like how they showed him at the beginning. Then at the very end, we got to see like that insight. But throughout the episodes, his presence is there because of the artwork he's been doing.
Yeah,
because he signs it. I like it. I love it. And it's a character I don't really know anything about.
Yeah.
So I'm really like hyped to see where that goes.
Yeah, I read a little bit about him, so I know like his powers it's like the opposite of what Matt does. His powers and where he's able to sense stuff. I think he's able to like either I don't remember 100%, but I think he's able to like dampen it or like mess with it. So, like he can take away a lot of that heightened awareness that Daredevil has. But also he's an artist, so he uses blood to make his murals and stuff like that.
Yeah. That's like what they were saying. I saw a video. Like, yeah, I saw a little video. Yeah. That's gonna be pretty dope to see, man. I'm 100% hyped about that.
Yeah. And if I got any of that wrong about Muse, that you correct me in the comments respectfully, please and thank you. I'm going on what I read a while back. I might get some things wrong, but so what do you think about the series? You agree with what I said? Like it's a
I
must
definitely
watch.
agree. I will say this from my gotta put my film cap on now. Marvel, y'all gotta clean up these damn reshoots, man. It's very obvious of the reshoot stuff that they did for the show. Like when he's on the rooftop, you can tell like it's in a studio because the New York backdrop doesn't even look real. I know you don't have the time and stuff, but there's certain things in this show, like the little shots we get in between, like the little New York shots of people just doing stuff. It feels like a little documentary shot, I call it. And then, of course, when in the first episode, when he was like jumping on the rooftops and fighting and stuff, when he was doing some of the actual fighting and the little CGI stuff that they was doing it with, I was like, come on, y'all gotta clean it up. But that's just me nitpicking at stuff like that. In all honesty, I get it because sometimes they don't give these folks a lot of time to do stuff and it's rushed. And I just really wish they would. That's my one gripe with Marvel. I wish they would take time and just clean up a little bit. Just clean it up, just a little bit. Like I get what reshoots are for, and you know how it's supposed to be done, but just clean it up. I should know when it's a reshoot. Even if I still know, I shouldn't know. That's all.
It shouldn't be obvious. It shouldn't be so obvious that a layman can tell. Hey, that's a reshoot right there.
Because even with the tones, like with the fourth episode, you could tell it was a reshoot episode because a lot of stuff felt like it was pieced together. Like I said, the writing is good enough to keep you on track. So that's why I say it's a good series because I love a good series with writing because I can sit and watch something with two people at a table talking for a whole hour in a movie, which I did with Dinner with Andre, which is a movie where two people meet at a restaurant and they talk, and I think it's like almost a 2 hour film. So if the writing's done very well, it works. Of course, and y'all know we're gonna get the action. Him and Frank
Of
is gonna
course.
team up. Like everything is coming in full effect. You just gotta be patient. You can't eat your cake and have it too. You just gotta take little servings. I like you said, I really do think it's gonna be end up being a great series because it already was a property that was so good. It really
Hmm.
wasn't hard to try to. They had to more so think of not messing it up instead of
Yeah,
making a good show. So far, they really keeping the tone the same. All the ideas, writing, motifs, characters, all of that is staying on track. Even and they're doing a really good job with bringing in new characters and kind of
definitely.
giving us a backstory, but not at the same time. It's leaving a mystery for us to figure out where they're coming from and what's their angles and stuff. Even to like
Yeah.
mirroring the guy that works with Fish, because he might be a potential muse for Fish later on, and that's not a pun for the actual Muse character.
But no, yeah, like I get, yeah.
I
He
don't
was
want y'all
literally
saying, "Oh,
like,
he's saying he's gonna be Muse." No, that's not what
no,
I'm.
no. There's no inkling of me thinking that man is mute. Okay,
Yeah.
let's set the record straight. He's just saying he's like a protege. He stunned him a little bit. He was like, he pretty much wanted to do what Fitz usually does to someone who messes up, and he knows he can't do it. So he put that fear in him. Said, "Don't do it again." It's the last thing you'll
He did
do.
the bang. He put that hand on the shoulder, like, "Hey,
Yeah.
I ain't playing with you." He got his New York. I ain't playing with you, son. I ain't playing with you, yo.
I'm surprised he didn't put a little pressure on him, just like to
Man.
let him know, because
It's only because old girl standing right there. I get so nervous when she be trying to tell him to do stuff. I be like,
mm-hmm.
Wilson, please don't do it, man. She just doing her job, bro.
Just doing her job. Leave her
Just
alone.
I'll be like, man, because the old Kingpin, she would have not been in these episodes. She would have been done in
Oh
that
yeah.
first episode.
Right when he exactly right when she said something he didn't like to hear.
Man, what? So I be so nervous. Like I literally be nervous as hell when she be talking to him and telling him what to do. I was like, oh man. So,
I
but
got nervous when
hey,
they both were in that scene in the room. I was like, somebody's about to be done. Somebody.
whoo!
And then I'm like,
I'm talking
okay,
about. I
he
wiped
caught
the
himself.
sweat. I was like, whoo. So that just attests to the good writing, like we said.
Yes.
That's how I should feel when I'm watching the show. I should feel like I don't know what the hell is going to happen.
Like you think for a second this might be that moment that something is gonna happen, even though it doesn't. But that's the kind of writing and storytelling you have to tell. It sucks you into where you probably know he's not going to do nothing like that, but you wonder. You have that moment where you forget that, and you're like sucked in. I don't know if I'm explaining it well, but it just sucks you into where you forget that it's a Disney Plus show, and they're not going to just be killing people off that crazily like that. They're a little bit more obvious, but you forget that stuff. But yeah, I'm rambling at this point. Let me stop rambling about writing. But with that being said, do you have any final things to say? We got everything out. Do you want to
Man, I
rate
think
them
we
or
covered. I
we
think
chilling?
I won't. Yeah, I won't rate it because it's not
Okay,
a full
it's not
season.
full. Okay, it's not full season.
I will say it is on track to be a good show,
Yes,
a very good show. Definitely on track. I think the more we get with Frank and Matt and seeing what Muse is gonna be, and I think Bullseye is busting out, so they definitely gonna have him back.
and I think if Bullseye busting out, I think Frank's gonna handle some business. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I think
Mm-hmm.
Bullseye ain't making out this season. To be frank, if he does
Yeah.
bust out, he
Yeah.
ain't. He's
Definitely.
not.
Definitely.
Because he got lucky the first time.
Yeah,
I don't know
definitely.
how he
So
lived through falling off the roof. I know it's comics, so that's
he's
the
a very
answer, but
I'd say he's a very lucky man. Very lucky
100%.
man.
Because that drop, I was like, nah, he's done.
Yeah, yeah. So
I'll
I
expect
definitely, like I
confirmation.
said, definitely think the show's on track to do very well.
Yeah.
Very surprised, but not surprised because I was nervous that Disney um, was doing it. So I'm definitely happy at the direction I see it's going in. So I can't wait to see how this one closes out this first season because they already greenlit a season 2.
And I'm
You
here
know,
for it, okay? Like, I can
yeah,
take as much Daredevil as they're trying to put out, because I like Daredevil a lot. He's
yeah,
he's
he's
such
one
a
of my
cool
favorites.
character. Just because he's a representation, not Daredevil, but Matt Murdock's is a representation of blind justice. He can't see nothing, so he has to go off of what he interprets from you, the thing that he can see, that you're
Yeah,
telling the truth, and all these different things.
yeah,
So it's really cool.
and he represents like the normal people in the world.
Exactly.
He doesn't have the fancy house, high rise, all the newest stuff, cashmere suits and stuff, $100 shoes. He's a lawyer. Lawyers make good money now. Don't get me wrong.
Don't get me wrong, but
It's still he's just a regular guy. You know, trying
yeah.
like you said, trying to do right by people. Because the fact that he went through all of that with the guy who was in jail, who they had locked up for stealing, that just
Mm-hmm.
shows you like he takes his job and his responsibility like serious. That whole like with great power comes great responsibility. He's the
Mm-hmm.
definition of that, and that's why I think it'll be cool too. That hopefully we'll get more moments with him and Peter. I know legally Spider Man can't be in the show, but in the films, I hope we'll get to see that because he's definitely a great example of great power comes great responsibility. On that,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna end my comments with that.
And I'm in mind saying that it sucks that legal stuff outside of the show is
Yeah,
keeping comic book
yeah.
stuff from happening. I think that sucks. I think that's the worst part about this era of streaming and stuff is you can't have things in here because legally they can't be here. I'm like, that's a comic book
Like
character. Come on now,
Sony, just man, let it go, Sony. It's over,
right?
bro. It's
You
over.
you, you failed. Okay.
It's over, bro. Okay, and I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm not even
That's your
gonna say
final
shit.
words.
It's over.
With that being said, it's time for the
That's shame. Oh, shame. This promotion brought to you by Dmitri.
If you love this podcast and everything that we do here, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell on the right side of the video so you get notified of the next video and future videos. Comment about anything. Did you like the Daredevil Born Against first 4 episodes? Are you thinking that it's going in a good direction? Do you compare the Daredevil original to this one, or you think the one before was better? Let us know. We keep it civil in the comment section down below for sure. But let us know and follow us on all our socials. Don't follow us on X. Follow us on like anything else but X. Okay. Our Instagram. We have a Reddit, and we also have a Discord. So follow us on that Discord or get in that Discord so we can talk about all things comic and pop culture related. And with that, I'm your host, Dmitri.
I'm your host, Mark and Maul.
Hey, and this has been the Square Round Table Podcast, and we are out. Peace.